CCRE is about. When you and I had our first conversation, you said something interesting in that you had a background in civil rights, the rights of people, the social rights of people, social and religious rights of people. But now you're working on silver rights, SILVER, which requires the empowerment part, the empowerment with resources and financial resources to build your own life, the things that you've talked about with Texas A&M. And that gets really difficult, all of it is difficult, but at the CCRE, there are some things that we too are looking at that inspires us. Our mission is to help to place more Black Americans into the coffee supply chain throughout. There are jobs that extend beyond what we see in coffee, and it's opening up the gate. It's opening up that pathway. And for the longest, I told you I'd worked in coffee for 25 years. And I use this term gatekeepers, and I hear the youth talking about, if I work in retail, there's so many gates that won't allow. There's so many times I can't go further than being at the barista level. I can't get into management. I can't learn about importing. I can't move into some of these other international or entrepreneurial opportunities. But I'd like to not see Black Americans coming to coffee as a gate-kept sort of industry. I would really like to see us come to it with a big, huge, beautiful, colorful door of opportunities for us to open. And for us, we need to have the partnerships. We need to have the relationships, because I've been in this space long enough, and I'm sure you understand this as well, that you have to go together in this work. The first coffee company that became a national coffee company was started in 1850. 1850. That was hundreds of years ago, right? Well, over 100 years ago. And for us to not have, for me not to be able to point to a prominent Black American in coffee, and not just in coffee, but in many industries, it's an indictment on us. It's an indictment on us as a country, a space where we who have a percentage, have stake, have invested, not just in this country, but Blacks in Latin America and all over the world have invested in an industry through work, through knowledge. To not have a mention, I always say, outside of Kaldi, the Ethiopian goat herder, who is also thought to be folklore, I'm hard pressed to think of another Black prominent person, or definitely a Black American in coffee. And that's because we have to write that history. We have to engage in the work. We have to engage in sustained work.